Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Andrew Moran, Sarah Cowgill, Keelan Ferris, and Scott Cosenza. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. She is the self-described Mary Poppins of misinformation. We're talking the kind of gal you go bar hopping with in hopes of finding a karaoke machine, though perhaps not someone you would put in charge of regulating the truth. But that's precisely what Joe Biden has done. Her name is Nina Jankowicz. She's an American author and commentator specializing in disinformation and is now the executive director of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Disinformation Governance Board. That's a mouthful. Conservatives are wondering what kind of propaganda post this really is. Well, she's an odd duck for sure. Sarah, do you love Nina?
Not so much. She looks good on paper. She does. She's got good credentials. And she's got the backing of a lot of high profile people. But first of all, you can't be Mary Poppins and drop the F-bomb all the time on TikTok. And the other thing is, she gave up a music career to chase down misinformation. Who does this?
Well, why do you think this new post of hers has set off bells and whistles to freedom-loving Americans?
Because who's going to define what the truth is? Truth is facts. Go find your facts. If somebody from the highest levels of government are telling you what the truth is, eventually, if they tell you enough, you're going to believe it. I mean, she's already starting out with, she's hammering the whole Russian narrative that they were involved in the 2016 election. She's dismissing Hunter Biden's laptop as something frivolous. I think she's problematic.
It's not just frivolous. It's Russian disinformation, Sarah. That's the important thing to remember. It'd be one thing if she just got it a little wrong. She got it wrong in a way that invents a new fact that favors leftist politics and puts aspersions on Republicans and Donald Trump. It's the opposite of the truth.
What do people, you're a generation younger than I am, self-disclosure here, which probably isn't hard to figure out. But what's your generation make of this kind of thing?
I would say most people think it's a positive thing. I haven't even seen many people my age really talking about it. However, I know a lot of people have already made this point online, but if Trump had created this department and appointed someone himself, there would be like complete and utter outrage. But it just seems like this is kind of flown over people's heads. Like people don't even, I'm sure if you found someone my age on the street and asked them about it, even if they lived in Washington, D.C., they might have no idea what you're talking about. So seems like
I think part of that is that, just to interrupt quickly, the Media Research Center did a study and showed, none of the Democratic advocacy media are on this story. They've given it like 22 seconds, unless you're watching, Fox or someone on the right, you wouldn't know that this exists. So that's
exactly
part of it.
Well, their facts are going to be allowed to come through, Lisa. It's the facts on the right that are going to be restricted.
Andrew, what's your take on this?
Well, I think Keelan's going to disagree with me, but this is proof once again that TikTok is a tool of the devil. That's just a horrible apparatus. But, if there's one entity that should never be the harbinger of truth and information, it's the government. Mendacity is the government's bread and butter. From the Department of Homeland Security to the CIA, all they do is peddle in lies and information. Suddenly now they're going to be, they're going to determine what's truth and what's not. I think I said this before on a C5 program, but the great Thomas Swell, he said that if the government ever passed a lie and lying, then there would be complete silence in Washington. So this whole anti-disinformation stuff is just complete nonsense. And it creates a vicious cycle too, if you think about it, because this one person claims to be a disinformation expert. Then that disinformation expert says, oh, but all these highly intelligent agents say this. And then a public policymaker will cite that document, which is just completely based on lies. And then you just have this vicious cycle over and over again. And then this woman, Nina, she said that the other day there's this clip of her coming out saying that that Republicans are purveyors of disinformation. That shows you right there that she's not an objective human being whatsoever, proving that there should be a ban against TikTok.
Do you think, actually, I'm wondering, does Canada have something like this?
No, we have something. We have the CRTC, so we regulate pretty much what's on television, what's on the radio. I've written about. Actually, okay, you bring this up.
Wait,
I wrote about this
what
last
does
year.
CRCT stand for?
To make sure
the
that only
Canadian-
Gordon Lightfoot and Bryan Adams songs are played on Canadian radio. That's not all wrong, by the way.
And
The
Tim's
wreck
favorite
of the
show.
Edmund Fitzgerald. Here
Damn
we go.
right.
And Tim and Lisa's favorite show, the Murdoch Mysteries. That must be mandated programming for everybody to watch, apparently. But yeah, so the Trudeau government before the last election, he actually wanted to have a disinformation group that would monitor social media and determine what's fake news and what's not, and also identify any hate speech. And then anybody who said that they were victims of hate speech, they would go to the government, and then the government would investigate that individual. So we have a lot of different regulations determining what's on social media, what's fake news, what's real, and all that stuff. And of course, in this country, I mean, fake news is so prevalent, especially on CBC, which is the worst. I mean, you guys have CNN, we have CBC, which is probably 10 times worse than CNN. If anybody watches it up here,
A bold statement.
Yeah, 10x is.
I'm sort of wild and taken aback that young people are so interested in having their words curbed and someone else determine the truth for them. When I was in college, as you are now, it was just the opposite. I mean, nobody wanted anybody telling them what to say or do. How do you think that's turned?
Well, I think now people think that, well, they're not going to tell me what to say or do. They're going to tell the idiots what to say.
Person you don't like.
Or the people that I don't agree with.
Meanies, right?
Yeah.
The
So
people who think wrongly.
Yeah, exactly. So, I would love for, someone to take a microphone and a camera down to a university in Washington, D.C. and pick people out walking down the street and ask them, hey, have you heard about this disinformation department now that's going to, monitor what's right and what's wrong, basically. And I'm sure a lot of them, if you just briefly described it to them, they would say, oh, I haven't heard about that, but that sounds awesome. That sounds like a great idea. And wouldn't even register. It's the government, deciding
what's
so
much work
true and what's
Personally,
wrong.
Keelan, I think that's a perfect on the spot reporting job.
There
for
you go.
I
approve your pitch. I approve your pitch.
I really think that when you do this, Keelan, just back to you, Keelan, when you go down there, I think you should start out with, did you know that Trump had appointed this person before he left? And see what the response is then.
Yeah.
Sarah, you nailed them. Well, the Minister of Misinformation is attracting all manner of negative attention. Clearly, this Orwellian branch of the Biden administration is not off to a good start. We'll be watching America's Big Sister, so stay tuned. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, surf on over to libertynation.com. Join us on the Member Zone, just $17.76 for the year. Special thanks to our fantastic editor and post coordinator, Frank Diorio, and our executive producer, Sarah Cowgill. I'm Lisa K. Donner, editor-in-chief. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth is making a comeback.